why haven't we rolled out the cameras on our roads? You know, it is just as simple as that. We have a new guy at NTSA. I hope he's here. Yes, we have this new guy at NTSA. It is my position, Waziri, that within the shortest time possible, let us roll out the cameras. We've been discussing this forever. You know? When can we have the cameras on the roads, Davis?
Because of the investors' program, let's give it a maximum of
1 month.
1 month, thank you.
It has to be 1 month.
Thank you,
I
Excellency.
know it can be done within 1 month.
We'll do it, Your Excellency.
So, when you leave this place, Bwanadiji, go do what you have to do with the support of the minister and the Minister of Transport. Rolling out the cameras is not rocket science. We've had cameras before on the roads. So let us roll out cameras in the, is it 5 or 6 major towns in Kenya in the next 1 month. And those cameras must be, are already connected to the whole framework of instant fines. Is that correct? So that way, we will make it easy for us to do several things. Number one, we do not need to argue with offenders. The cameras will provide foolproof evidence that they are in breach. Number two, we do not have to go and bother the Chief Justice in court. The fine will be predetermined. When you have committed the offense, you will have a fine on your phone instantly. And the issue of us not having money will also end because we'll be collecting money instantly. So we will solve all our problems in one shot. To decisively confront these challenges, the report sets out a comprehensive package of reforms that we must urgently give priority to stem the continued loss of life and injuries in our roads. First, on legal and policy reform, the report proposes that we amend the Traffic Act to respond to emerging risks. Key measures include the introduction of instant fines and a demerit point system for driving licenses, the standardization of driver training and licensing, and the fast tracking of the National Council of Administration of Justice Bill. I think that's what the Chief Justice was saying, that it's now time that we have the NCAJ with its own statute that would help us coordinate better the actions of the different actors in this space. Second, on digital transformation, the report recommends the establishment of an integrated e-transport and traffic case management system, linking all relevant agencies. It also calls for the scaling up of automated ticketing, expanded deployment of CCTV and speed cameras, and the creation of a secure digital evidence management framework. Third, on police and integrity reforms, the report recommends the deployment of body-worn cameras for traffic officers, strengthened continuous vetting and integrity testing, enhanced anti-bribery mechanisms, and improved welfare, supervision, and working conditions for enforcement officers. Priority actions for non-justice sector agencies include fast-tracking the identification of black spots, particularly along the Northern Corridor and the Mombasa-Nairobi Highway. The report further calls for the adoption of safety by design principles in all new road projects and the expansion of pedestrian walkways, crossings, and dual carriageways. The way forward, therefore, is clear. Sustained high-level political leadership is indispensable. Road safety must be pursued through a whole-of-government and a whole-of-society approach. Dedicated financing mechanisms, including the operationalization of the National Road Safety Fund, must now be prioritized. As a country, we have made an important step through coordinated enforcement and traffic codes. However, rising fatalities, systemic corruption risks, infrastructure gaps, and weak digital integration make it clear that road safety reform must now move from pilot phase to full national transformation. Those two will reduce the problem we have here by 70%. Just those two things we do. We get the vehicle inspection right, which means we will have as few as possible unroadworthy vehicles on our roads. And then number two, we will also raise some revenue to give to all these other good people to do the other things they need to do. And then on this camera business, we will also consolidate and make it administrative. I don't know whether that was what you meant, Chief Justice.
Yes.
It means the need to take this person who has committed a traffic offense, maybe he has jumped the lights or he has caused an obstruction, the need to drag that person to court is no longer there.
Because we have categorized the offenses, the
Yes.
administrative offenses,
Yes.
that are now instant fines.
Yes.
They are no longer criminal.
Yeah,
They are no longer police,
and court.
judiciary, DPP.
Correct.
We are only left with the serious ones.
Correct.
Causing death.
Yes.
And other serious traffic offenses. So we are dividing the administrative.
Correct.
And the administrative, if you look at the statistics, Your Excellency, are the majority.
They are the majority.
Actually, 70%, yes, are the administrative traffic offenses.
And they are the ones jamming our courts.
Yes, because even the road congestion and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So 70% of this big problem we are trying to solve here can be sorted out with just two interventions: instant fines and vehicle inspection. Things within our purview and our reach in months. So I am suggesting that we then have maybe a conversation around July at the NCAJ level, and maybe 2 months later, we can reconvene again and see where this has reached. I think let me leave it there and say congratulations to all of you. I want to appreciate all the actors. I know a lot of work has gone into this, many hours of thinking and working together and creating synergy. And as I said, the template that you have established as a result of what was carried out as a pilot in the festive season of 2025 is a good template for us to use going into the future to solve now the balance of the 30% of the problem once we sort out the 70% with these two interventions. The safety of our people on our roads remain a matter of grave national concern. Despite sustained interventions over the years, road accidents and the injuries and loss of life they occasion continue to exert a heavy and unacceptable toll on our nation. Kenya records more than 4,000 road fatalities annually. Last year alone, 5,009 deaths were reported on our roads, an increase, as was said by the Chief Justice, of 261 compared to the year 2024. These accidents and their ensuing fatalities and injuries cost our economy an equivalent of 5% of our GDP, translating to an estimated Kenya shillings 450 billion annually. During the 2025 festive season alone, 415 deaths were recorded. Just imagine, a 23% increase from the previous year. I am, however, encouraged that deliberate steps are already being taken to confront this challenge, a multi-sectoral approach. And for the first time, a coordinated interagency traffic justice model was successfully piloted during the 2025-2026 festive season under the framework of the National Council on the Administration of Justice. This initiative brought together enforcement, prosecution, and adjudication in a unified and a structured manner. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to note that the interventions during the festive season yielded measurable gains. The deployment of 36 prosecutors, 40 officers from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and 121 officers from the National Transport and Safety Authority significantly strengthened enforcement. As a result, fatalities involving public service vehicles declined by 10%, largely due to intensified oversight. This initiative has therefore established a viable and replicable national model for managing traffic offenses. Accidents involving private vehicles have increased relative to public service vehicles, and so have nighttime crashes involving long-distance trucks. Additionally, border-related accidents continue to pose a persistent and serious threat on our roads. The pilot showed the core drivers of road traffic accidents within the various sectors. Within the justice sector, key factors include weak enforcement, inadequate highway patrols, bribery across enforcement chain, lenient penalties that fail to deter offenders, poor interagency coordination, and gaps in post-crash response. Other major contributors include reckless driving, speeding and drunk driving, poor driver training, widespread unlicensed riding, unroadworthy vehicles, counterfeit spare parts, unsafe road signs, the high vulnerability of pedestrians and motorcyclists. Economic pressures on PSV operators are also contributing to risky behavior. The pilot further exposed critical weaknesses within the justice chain. These include persistent corruption and roadside bribery, delays in investigations and prosecutions, weak evidence management systems, digital gaps, inconsistent fines, absence of traffic-specific sentencing guidelines, limited capacity of the workforce, funding constraints, and weak enforcement of notices to attend courts. Operational challenges were also evident. Virtual courts achieved only 25% success rate due to connectivity and power limitations. Budget constraints affected the rollout of mobile courts. Case processing delays were noted between arrest and registration at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In some instances, agencies continued to operate in silos while public compliance with traffic rules remained low.
We acknowledge truly what the Chief Justice said about integrity being a matter of great concern when it comes to enforcement. And the people of Kenya have been on our case, particularly the National Police Service, about collection of bribe by enforcement officers on the roads. We have no defense because it is the truth. It's not one of those things that you can stand here and defend, because the people of Kenya see it all the time in our roads. And in our discussion, the answer is digitization and digital enforcement. You have already guided us to have cameras under the C4 project in 6 cities in the country. Nairobi will be ably covered, and a number of the cities, including Mombasa. Again, having cameras all over the place will make sure that these officers are held into account. In addition, having instant fining system that does not require human intervention will make sure that the instances of corruption come down. Lastly, this report captures the most important part, which is the citizen or the driver or the person who's using the road or motorist. Your Excellency, civic campaign will really need to be done. It's inevitable that our behavior on the roads is contributing immensely, including drinking and driving, people driving anyhow, a very bad border culture that seems to have become now the norm. Border now are being used not just to cause road traffic accidents, but to carry out criminal gangs activities around our cities. The regulations in this sector needs a major campaign for people of Kenya to accept that it is important to follow the law, but also we need to engage in very thorough enforcement.
To enhance coordination and service delivery within the justice system, the National Council on Administration of Justice was established post-2010 Constitution under the Judicial Service Act, Cap 8A, and it provides a structured platform for sector-wide reforms, because it was recognized that coordination and collaboration and partnership is critical in delivery of justice. None of us can succeed alone. We must work together and work with synergy. So the execution of this mandate is aimed at ensuring that the justice sector remains accountable and efficient and responsive in providing access to justice for the citizens. We realized when there are fatalities, accidents on the roads, it doesn't matter whether it is NTSA that has failed, whether it's the police that has failed, whether it's the prosecution or the courts, all of us as a country, we have failed our country. So within the NCAJ reform agenda, traffic justice reforms are central. They are driven by the need to address the persistent road traffic accidents and fatalities, as well as traffic congestion. The role of the justice sector in prevention, investigation, arrest, adjudication, and enforcement is central to achieving this objective. We want to assure you that the NCAJ stands ready to lead and coordinate the justice sector and to respond in partnership with the executive and with the legislature to ensure that our laws are modern, our systems are interpolable, our enforcement is firm but fair, and our institutions are accountable. With strong political will, sustained investment, and collective responsibility, Kenya can significantly reduce road traffic fatalities and restore order and safety in our road. Thank you.
The engagement this morning is with the council members of NCAJ. We have 38 council members from broad justice sector agencies. We have the judiciary, the security, prosecution, Office of the Attorney General, correctional services, transport, health, social services, law reform agencies, witness protection, and non-state actors. And because of time, allow me just to request them to stand up just for recognition, kindly, the council members who are present. Thank you, Your Excellency. You can have your seats. This is the first specialized NCAJ briefing to you on matters that touch on enhancing traffic management in Kenya and also to address incidents of fatalities. The NCAJ had a special briefing in December on this special topic of traffic, and where they discussed matters, the rising traffic incidents during the festive season and ways to reduce road traffic accidents and related deaths. Thereafter, there was a report that was prepared to brief Your Excellency on the recommendations by the Council.